Hi guys, how's it going? Lower the music a bit. How are we doing? Hello. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have to move these back. So we're doing our extra special cooking stream. Thank you to our friends at HelloFresh. If you notice down there, we have a little sponsor code box that does a little thing every couple seconds. If you sign up with our code POGHF62231, you get 21 free meals plus free shipping. That's a pretty good deal. Yes, it's stovetop view right now. We're actually going to move over here so we can take a look at what we're working with so I can kind of show you guys what these kits are all about. We did one as a test yesterday and it was really, really yummy. It was really good. So look what we have here. They give us our chicken portions. Chicken cutlet bits. You got 2 in there. It's pretty nice. This came in like a cold pack. We just separated everything out because we had to thaw because it came frozen. Then it's got everything you need in here. So we've got our scallions or white onions here. Some really good looking spinach. Like this is fresh spinach. It's like the warehouse is like 2 minutes from where we live. So this is super good. Super fresh. We have our sliced mushrooms. Oh, these are pre-sliced. Sweet, I don't gotta slice them. Our fancy ramen noodles. Our aromatics, which are, oh god, my hands are gonna burn. Remind me not to touch my face. 1 bit of ginger, 2 garlic cloves. We have a lot of seasoning packets. Like, let's see, we've got, well, they're not all seasoning packets. Like, we have broth concentrate to get the broth going. Chicken stock concentrate for the broth as well. Chili flakes for flavor. My favorite seasoning. More pork broth concentrate. Sesame oil. Soy sauce. Last but not least, fried onions to top it. Yeah, mushrooms are pretty good. As long as they're cooked well. You don't want slimy old ones. You want like really, really nice fresh ones, which is what we have here. And then you're wondering, oh, you've got all these ingredients. How do you do that? Well, HelloFresh includes a handy dandy paper with everything you're supposed to get. Everything you're supposed to get in the kit, a picture of how it looks, and then on the back, step-by-step instructions with cooking times and like what everything's supposed to look like as you go. It's really cool. It was like really fun. It's really fun to do.
Yeah, it's really nice because when you're picking out your recipes, they give you about 30 to 40 to choose from, and before you pick the recipe, it'll literally tell you the materials that you need as far as if you need pots, pans, what kind of utensils, things like that. On top of that, it'll give you a step-by-step on the recipe before you pick it, so you can kind of gauge, is this something that's easy to cook? Is this something that I would want to cook? Because some recipes could take a ton of time and a lot of work, versus if you're looking for something quick, you could gauge that based on what kind of recipe you want to choose, which is really nice. It's very organized on the website. And it'll tell you every single ingredient that's included in the recipe. So say if you don't like something specifically, you could be like, okay, well, I don't want to choose this recipe, I'll do another one. On top of that, some of them offer substitutions. So for example, the pasta that we made yesterday, you could either sub the pork sausage for a chicken sausage, or you could sub it for like a chicken breast as well, which is really nice. So they have a lot of options. And it's all nice and organized, so you would know exactly what you're gonna get and what to expect.
These are some strong scallions. I've got to wash and dry these poor hands, so I'm gonna try and just get these prepared here. Wash our scallions first. The spinach we top with, but that should be fine. We don't have to chop that. So when you're preparing vegetables as well, a good, very useful tip. You might think, oh, it can air dry. It'll be fine by the time I need to use it. You really do want to always pat them dry. Like, you always want to use it. Use that, pat them dry with some paper towels. Do not let them air dry, please. Like, Do not. Always want to make sure they're patted dry. That way they can cook properly.
No worries, you're all good, Pars.
Yeah, it's all good, Pars. Go. Do what you need to do. Thank you for stopping in.
But yeah, no, it is really organized, which is nice. I like organization. My brain likes knowing what to expect and everything. So it's actually really nice visually. And I was like surprised at how nicely the meal was organized yesterday because it literally has all the seasonings that you would need, which is really, really cool.
And they're portioned well too. Like I had the full portion, or not the full portion, but like one serving's worth, and it was really filling. Like they make sure these servings are filling, very yummy.
Yeah, and another cool thing about it is that I realized I was like, wow, you know what? Like with the price of the meals that we bought, I spent a lot more at the grocery store buying those individual servings. When I go to the grocery store to buy stuff for a recipe, I end up spending a lot more money, and then I end up with a lot more leftovers than I eat because me and my family are horrible at eating leftovers. So it's really nice to have that, to where I only have to worry about getting recipe or getting ingredients for literally 2 people that's perfectly portioned. And it actually like saves a lot of money because the amount that we bought for these 3 boxes literally is the amount that costs me for one meal or like one recipe at a grocery store. And it's like I do not feel like eating the recipe that I made 4 days in a row. So it's nice to have this because it is actually cheaper when you have these smaller portions, which is really nice.
Yeah, because you're not gonna let something go bad.
Yeah,
which is perfect. 'Cause, like I know, I typically eat leftovers for like work lunches. I still am pretty bad outside of like work days as far as letting leftovers go off. But this does help negate some of the waste, which is good. Alright, so we also need to get a pot of water boiling. I'm actually going to get that going first, because that's going to take a while. Where's the salt? Behind the pepper?
Yep.
Salt?
Yep. You want to do it at the other end?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need it salty, but we don't need it that salty.
So you're just salting the water, and then this is going to be used to cook the ramen noodles.
Yes.
And what's really nice about ramen noodles is they literally only take like, especially if they're authentic ones, instead of the little cubes you buy them in, they literally only take about 2 minutes to boil, which is really cool.
Yeah, they're like nice ramen cooks wonderfully. Like really, really well. These are very nice ingredients. It's like another thing that I love. Look at this. We have the ingredient list here. That's the back one. Oh. Really nice here. See this? Those are the only ingredients in the noodles. They're not full of like preservatives and gross things that you can't pronounce. That's pretty good. So, alright, while that boils, I'm gonna get to chopping our stuff. With scallions, you just want to cut the ends off. So white end and the very tip of the green end. I'm going across the kitchen the whole time for nothing. When chopping your food, or chopping your veggies, you want to get them as bunched up as possible. This works really well with scallions, but also I recommend it for like if you're doing parsley or oregano or cilantro. Okay, have not ever done this backwards, so bear with me.
Your finger is suspiciously in the way of that.
In the way of what?
The knife.
Hold on. No, you can see the knife, right?
No, I mean in the path of the knife.
Oh, okay. Moving my fingers back slowly. I would not recommend cutting like this, but I want to do this so you can see how to properly cut. Now, if you notice, I'm not lifting the knife all too much. Oh, we got a little oxidized bit on our onion, but that's okay. Here, I'm gonna cut this little bit off too. Our onion. Notice how I'm not necessarily lifting my knife up every time, I'm more like rocking it. I like to call it rocking the boat.
You like to call it.
Yes, that's what I like to call it. This is the best way to chop your veggies. Look at these little bits, because these are more green than white, because they did say to keep them separated. I don't know about you, but I like a really, really strongly flavored ramen broth. So we're going to use all of these when the time comes. It's going to be nice and aromatic. What I'm a little nervous for is cooking the ginger, because I've never actually cooked with just raw ginger before. So it's going to be very interesting to me how that goes. So same again with this end. Rocking the boat here. Moving my finger back so I don't cut myself. Safety is first in the kitchen. You can't make good food if you're missing a finger. Well, you can, but you probably have like blood in it, and that wouldn't be very good, would it? And for the last bit, we can cut as normal. Another tip I have when cutting, when you are cutting vegetables just like this, maybe you don't want to use the rock the boat method. Always let your veggies accumulate up here. The less you have to touch the blade of the knife, the better. Like, you want to touch that as minimally as possible. So we have our greens right up here. Our whites are going to be right here, or well, I'm going to use quote-unquote whites because these are still looking a little green, but they're not as like vibrant green, you know? Not as dark. Next up, garlic. Garlic is easy. So you're about to do, you're going to put the knife flat across it. And you're going to push down till you hear that crunch.
Yeah, you want to use the palm of your hand to break the garlic clove. And that makes it a lot easier to remove the little skin that's on top of it. And then with that as well, it kind of crushes the garlic clove, so it makes it a little bit easier to chop.
Easier to chop, especially because with this we need to mince it. And personally, I do still have like a difficult time mincing things just on. So the little crush actually helps me a lot.
Yeah, and it's always easier to hold. If you're gonna hold the garlic flat, it's easier to put it like this. And then use your knife to crush it, so it actually crushes versus like this. I mean, you can, but you want to make sure that it has that tension, so it'll actually crush.
We're using 2 whole garlic cloves.
Yeah, and one thing, especially if you're using a lot of garlic, what's really nice is you could do like the pre-chop, and then what I do is I'll usually get like a pile of all the chopped garlic and then just chop it all up with my knife over again in like a big pile of already chopped garlic, which is a lot easier to do. So you could do like sloppy chops at first, and then once you have all your garlic chopped, if they're in big amounts, then you could use the randomly chop method.
Yes, so as you can see here, I've got this chopped pretty fine. We went across a couple times just to chop it, make sure it's nice and minced. Do the same with the second clove here. Alright. Alright, we got some of our peel off there, which is nice, so I don't have to touch it as much, because another thing, I assume most of you have cooked with garlic before, but in case you haven't cooked with raw garlic, garlic is very sticky. Also is very smelly, not in like the bad way smelly, it smells like garlic. So you're gonna have garlic oil on your hands for a while. So once again, just rocking the boat.
Yeah, if you're sensitive to garlic, I would say wear gloves.
Yeah. This
but-
recipe is very like garlic onion heavy, which I know they're like the same like plant family. So if you have problems with garlic, I would really recommend taking the same precautions when you chop onions, because they are in the same plant family, so they do have some of the same like chemicals, flavors, and it'll probably set off a similar thing with you. But once it's cooked down, don't gotta worry about that. Unless you're like super duper allergic. I'm just washing my hands here because I do not like sticky garlic hands. You have our nice fine chopped veggie piles. This is the part I'm nervous about. Alright, we're just gonna use a knife. So we have our ginger right here. It says we need to peel it and then chop it. Or peel and mince. Oh gosh, that is going to be... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the peely bits off.
If you're nervous about it, I could do it.
That's good. Right, this is like a good learning experience, unless you want to. Unless you really want to chop the ginger. One thing with ginger though, if you are going to be handling it, remember not to touch your face or any like open cuts or anything, because ginger will burn. So you're gonna rock the boat again. Do you want to show them how you mince, or like how you chop?
I chop basically the same.
All right. Would you like to do the meats when the time comes for that?
Sure, careful with your thumb.
Sounds good. See, what I've done here is I've kind of laid the ginger in a thatched pattern, or like a kind of looks like a hashtag, you know. Chop it across, then you chop it the other way. And then now, same thing that we did when we minced our garlic, we are going to just chop across.
Yeah, and the same thing where it's kind of like when you have like that big amount of garlic and you need to really mince something, just kind of gathering it all in a pile and then doing that method where you just kind of chop really helps break up those big pieces without being tedious about it, and then getting those tiny little pieces or like the bigger pieces and then trying to chop each and every one of them individually.
I'm gonna finally mince the ginger just a little more, only because it came in a larger chunk, so my cuts are a little larger by default than with the garlic. Trying not to get ginger everywhere. How's our water looking? It is looking like boiling water. Or not boiling water, I should say.
Almost boiling water.
Yes, it's looking toasty. Alright, so we've chopped our veggies. We have our water boiling, getting ready to go. Okay, small microwave safe bowl. So as you can see here. Actually, I'm gonna wash my hands first, real quick. Other one? Okay. I'm gonna use this other one. As you can see here, we got this bowl. It says here we need to combine our sesame seed packet, which I'll get in one moment. Oh, yeah, there we go. Scissors would work. So we have our sesame seed packet. We're going to cut it on open. Didn't cut it enough, clearly. Pour them all in. Half of the sesame oil, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a corner and we're going to treat it like... No, we have to save the rest for number. Okay. Set this on a paper towel. And also, another tip while cooking. Cleaning as you go, or at least making sure you're not setting yourself up to clean up little drips of like soy sauce or, you know, sticky things later on. Super helpful. Alright, half the garlic, half the sesame oil. A drizzle of normal oil. Big pinch of salt, which...
More salt.
More salt.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, more salt.
It said big pinch. When I hear pinch, I don't think pinch.
And chili flakes to taste. Well, I don't know about you. I think I've said it before on stream, and I think I said it earlier. Chili flakes are my absolute favorite seasoning to use. So...
You like things muy caliente.
Oh, I do. We have our chili flakes here. I'm going to add the garlic last. Alright, let's get ginger off there. So I don't want to accidentally add ginger to the paste. We're making a basic chili paste, which really cool if you've never made one before. So we got everything in our bowl, and I'm going to get
I would say add a little more oil.
Yeah, it's looking a little... I'm not going to say dry because that's not the right word, but I need it to be more pasty. Cover this with plastic wrap. Now, another cool thing with these recipes is it tells you all the side things that you'll need to provide or that you're going to need. So it told us, yeah, you're going to need a little bit of plastic wrap. So we were able to have it ready on hand. You be able to help me with this real quick? Alright. What is our next step?
And then you can see the mixture
here.
It has all the ingredients in it, and it's kind of like a little oil seasoning.
So like when you get your, this is like the, I always called them fancy ramens growing up. Like, you know when you get like the big ramen bowls and like you drizzle, like you put in your seasoning packet, but then you would do like the other one that came with the oil. This is that oil. 30 seconds in the microwave. Or until fragrant, so whichever happens first. Alright. Measuring cup. Alright, we're gonna set our chili oil aside. We have to keep it covered though, so I can't like unwrap it, but that's sort of what it's gonna look like afterwards. Ow, this is hot. Alright. water boiling yet? No, it is not.
So we
boiling.
can move it over here.
Yes, because we're gonna need two things going at the same time, anyways. We have our water. It's getting there to a boil. We gotta wait for it, but the ramen noodles only take 1 to 2 minutes to cook, so that is a-okay. So pretty much as soon as we put them in, we have to drain it and take it out and take them out. But I also have to set them aside afterwards. So once we drain all this water after they're boiled, toss in some oil, mix it around, and let that sit. Oh no, we can't keep them in that pot. We're gonna just set them aside again. We'll set them aside in this bowl.
Okay, so what are we doing next?
So we have to wait for the noodles to boil. Like, that is what
Okay.
we're waiting on. So as soon as this gets ready to boil, I'll dump them in. We let them cook for 1 to 2 minutes. Let them get all soft and ramen-y, you know, as one would. My ginger. And get all soft and ramen-y. Toss noodles with oil after we drain it when they're ready. And we put another drizzle of oil in the pot and we get started on our broth. This is like almost there, maybe like a minute more. Like literally this recipe, you know, if you're gonna make ramen from scratch, like everything, you'd think it would take a while, right? But no. What we're looking at here is 7 steps for it. 7 super duper easy steps. You say this is boiling enough?
I would say give it 1 more minute.
Alright. But yeah, no. So the one we did previously just to test it out was the pork sausage rigatoni rosa, and oh my god, that was delicious. Like easily one of the best things I've eaten in a while. Like it was so good. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. This is a chicken ramen in a shoyu style broth with mushrooms, chili garlic oil, and crispy fried onions.
Alright, I would say that is boiling.
Alright. It's ramen time. We're just gonna fill all this back because I do not want to waste and I do not want to lose any of our noodles. We'll give that 1 to 2 minutes in there. It is now 11:23, I think. So we'll just give it till 25. So these are already starting to like lose their stiffness. What are your favorite things to cook? To make?
A lot.
Yeah, no, those started cooking like immediately. These are all sorts of flexible now.
Well, it's funny because nobody really ever taught me how to cook. Like, my parents were never like, I'll sit you down and teach you how to cook. But I just kind of learned mostly by watching. Literally, the only thing that was explicitly taught to me was how to cook a boxed cake and how to boil spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, no, like the first thing I was taught to make, like, aside from like, oh, this is how you pour your cereal or make Easy Mac, here, no. The stuff like that's, yeah, it's a meal, but it's technically not a meal. I learned how to make Alfredo, and honestly, it was it was so good, and it was actually a good learning experience, because I learned how to, like, saute, I learned how to flavor a sauce, which is easily one of the most important things to learn while cooking. Because like, or any kind of properly flavor a sauce or like a broth, or you know, a not solid component of it, but more so just a way to, you know, just get flavor in there. How to properly do it, which is nice. And it still shows to this day, because like my favorite things to cook are pastas and noodle dishes. Like, we'll be messaging and you're like, you've had way too much pasta. Like, I've not had enough.
And that should be good to start draining if you want to get the pot holders.
Yes, because I do not feel like burning my thumbs today. Alright.
Okay, so we're just draining the noodles.
I need to drizzle them with oil and then mix them around a bit before we move to the next step. Do you mind doing that shaky? So you don't want them to stick together. If you have a dish and your noodles are done before the next part, or like you need to mix the noodles in with something I always recommend doing, drizzling with either oil or putting some butter in. That way they don't stick together and get all clumpy and lumpy.
Butter's really good in spaghetti.
Yes, it is. We're going to drizzle of oil in the pot. So let me see what I'm adding. It is the scallion whites, ginger, and garlic. So the greens we're not going to use right now. Those are going to be for later. Kind of pop those away. Alright, I'm going to have to be very
Did you
careful.
put the drizzle of oil already in the pot?
Pot? Yes, I just did. Alright, we got our white onion parts. We have our ginger. I want to get it all in there. Then the rest of the garlic. Oh, careful, onion greens. Don't fall. Those in. Do I need to turn on the vent fan, or are we good?
I think we should be good.
Okay. Cook stirring for 30 seconds. Get them nice and coated. The aromatics going. This is what's going to give our broth all of our flavor. You might think the little seasoning packets do it. No. The seasoning packets are like the muscles of the broth. Like all your seasonings. You know, your salt, your pepper, all your other seasonings you use. But the real backbone of good broth is your aromatics. Got our veggies. We have our garlic and ginger. Ginger's a really nice one. We're gonna see what we do. 3.5 cups of water. So we have. All right, you want to stir that whiteboard in slowly, so we don't like have a bunch of oil spitting at you. Sure.
And then we just need to add 1.5 more cups.
Here, I'll go get it. Oh, sorry.
And then now we add the soy sauce packets.
Pork and chicken stock concentrates.
Yeah, and actually the quality of the ingredients that they give are really nice. We got like some good bronze cut pasta. It's not just some dollar store pasta. It's actually really nice.
Oh god, that is thick.
Yes, it is concentrate.
Yeah. That smells really good though. try this. I know this is gonna be so delicious. That pork one's out. Chicken one is. Oh, I missed cutting one whole one. The pork one. Shoot. I was like, why is it still lumpy? I've squeezed it a few times. Alright, now I'm gonna get this stirring, get this good and incorporated while we let this simmer.
Yeah, and while we're simmering this, the next step is to cut the chicken.
You guys want to take a look at the broth real quick? Let me grab this. See how it's nice and dark? We're just going to let that simmer for a little bit. As mentioned before, this stream is in fact sponsored by our good friends at HelloFresh. They have always had really great food. And with our super duper special sponsor code POGHF62231, you can get yourself 21 free meals with free shipping. That is such a good deal. I cannot exaggerate how good that is. I think it was what? For our first box, it was really cheap.
Yeah, it was only like $20-something, and that included 3 meals. And then 2 servings of each.
Like, it is such a good deal. I cannot exaggerate enough. Like, take advantage of this deal while you still can. Use our sponsor code to sign up. You'll get all the freebies and all the good stuff. Enjoy cooking with us. Alright, did you add the sesame oil?
Was it supposed to be sesame oil or drizzle?
Alright, so we had the chicken draw out paper towel, season with salt. Heat a more drizzle of oil, and then drizzle with the remaining sesame oil.
What is it?
Okay. Transfer chicken and cutting board the rest. Easy peasy. Oh shoot, we'll need a different cutting board because it's set on chicken on it. You want me to rinse this real quick?
I can rinse it.
Okay. Yep.
If you want to man the chicken.
Yes, I will. So you have our chicken cooking on medium to high. That is, you never want to go super high when you start with meat, because if you end up forming a crust too early, the inside won't cook, and you'll end up with like raw meat, and you don't want that. Let broth simmer a bit. So our chicken is starting to sizzle, which is good. I need to go for 3 to 5 minutes per side. And thank you, Pars, for the tier 1 sub earlier. I don't think. Hey, Big Rob. We are making the chicken ramen in a shoyu style broth. So it's with HelloFresh here.
Yeah, we are on the cooking chicken step.
Yes, we're cooking the chicken. We have our broth simmering. Very good smelling broth, by the way. Like, I wish, like, Smell-O-Vision took off just so you guys could actually, like, see how great this is. 'Cause It is so delicious. We also got a sponsor code if you want to sign up. But yeah, no, ramen is such a wonderful thing to make. Like, it is delicious. It's like 3 to 5 minutes per side. So it gets like fully at the side. Leave like 1 more minute on this side. I'm not gonna lie. This dish is a challenge for me because I've never handled ginger before. I'm not the strongest with cooking chicken, but I am so confident in how they are, how they prepared it. Ow, oil spitting. Careful when you cook with oil, by the way. You never want to lean in too close. It'll spit some out. No, we're not going to do the egg. We got, as far as our toppings go, we have some nice and yummy spinach. We got some mushrooms. Some green onions right here. And a personal favorite of mine to put on just about anything, fried onions.
You know what? A soft-boiled egg would actually be really good to put on this.
It would. I know with HelloFresh as well, sometimes what they'll do in like your 3rd and 6th box or something like that, they'll throw in free gifts like extra meals or extra like desserts or whatever. So we're flipping the chicken now because it's been about 4 minutes, and it's a 3 to 5 minutes per side. These are very thick cuts of chicken.
Yeah, they are meaty.
Chicken's rack 160 and rack 5 minutes, and I'll get to 155. Yeah. Should rack that. Oh wait, you're not, dude, that's so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, what do you like making? Or like, what do you make regularly? That's really cool. You know, I try to do a lot of home cooking, and I try to, like, learn a lot from... I won't say I'm self-taught, I learned to cook basic things, like a basic Alfredo when I was young, but, like, when it came to, like, technique, I really was lacking, so I kind of taught myself that stuff online. Like, when I was chopping stuff earlier, I was showing people how to do it safely, and how to not mess up your herb chops. With the scallion. The scallion and herb chopping principles kind of are the same. I like to bundle them all up and then chop them. The tighter you have the bundle, the less chopping you have to do long run. Is less close contact with the knife, which is the better knife safety. What's it trying to do?
Close.
Oh. Now we're going for a nice sear on this chicken too, because I like having a good sear. And when it comes to the chicken, presentation on ramen, chopping it on top. Nothing is better than like cutting in, seeing nice, well-cooked chicken with a nice, good golden brown sear on the outside. That's like the best one. Like the best way to present it. Hi Glenn! How you doing? We're making ramen! It's our Hello Fresh kit. And it's doing super duper well.
We are cooking chicken.
Yeah. And I know, you're supposed to only do like one flip when you're cooking meat. However, I like to get the golden sear on both sides so we have a nice, even layer. You know, let's go look at our next step. This is what the remaining steps are. Let's first chicken a few times to cook. Some salt. Oh, okay, cool. Because that is what we can do right now, especially streaming on a different device. It is like the most optimized for this device. We're not able to bring my PC setup, so... Alright. Let's get that sesame oil going. We're streaming off of a laptop right now. Alright, so we added our sesame oil in here to add some nice flavor to our chicken. We got that oil drizzle, and here, let me get a close-up of our chicken here. Looking pretty good, right? Think those are looking ready?
I think these are good. So we're going to transfer these to a cutting board. Not a bird.
And now it's time for mushrooms. You know, I've never cooked mushrooms at home before. Add a little more oil. I think we have enough oil in the pan. What do you say?
I would say that's good.
Okay. Let's get our mushrooms into the pan. Come on, little mushroom. Salt it! Salt it. We're basically just sweating the mushrooms of their moisture right now. So we add the extra salt, we have them in oil, and we have it medium heat. We don't want to burn them, we just need to sweat all the moisture out. Or a good portion of it anyways. It actually looks really yummy. I'm excited. It's like, I don't eat mushrooms a lot because, like, I'm very unsure of how to prepare, so I'm super duper excited for this. I'm just gonna do a quick broth check-in for y'all. Once the steam kind of dissipates a bit. Here we are.
Broth check.
Broth check. Looking nice and brothy, nice and dark. Buff. You're talking about things we like to cook and like how we all learn to cook. So what do you like to cook, Glenn? Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah,
We're talking-
it smells actually really nice.
We were talking earlier. We actually did one of these. You like to cook cereal?
Cereal is a very good recipe.
Yes, it's a very yummy recipe. Very quick, very easy. Also a good midnight snack if you're a gremlin like me. Smell the broth. It is so like aromatic. Yeah, we were just talking. We did the pork sausage rigatoni rose yesterday. Ooh, egg sandwich. Egg sandwiches are yummy. I really love doing egg sandwiches. They're yummy ones to me. For 3 to 5 minutes. These mushrooms should be what? You think they're almost done?
I would say they need to get a little more tender.
Yeah, they need to be softened. It's their big thing.
Yeah, I've actually been doing for meal prep, like baked eggs, kind of like the Starbucks egg bites. And so I'll literally just like get a big bowl of eggs and seasonings, and I'll put like some red peppers and some cooked spinach, and then I'll put it in a pan and bake it and cut it into like little squares, and it's actually really good. And I'm not a egg fan, not like the #1 egg fan, like maybe like the 500th egg fan.
Like eggs when made well are really yummy. I like seeing those like the Korean street vendors when they do the flippy thing with all the eggs. It's really fun. It's really cool. And I always like try to do that. I actually did manage to do it once with like a bagel. You eat 7 eggs a day?
Oh my god.
That's a lot of eggs.
Have you ever tried to make the whipped eggs? Because I actually did that one time where, like, right before the recipe, at least I saw the recipe online, where you get, like, egg whites and then you whip it. And then you cook it, and it makes, like, this really fluffy egg. And then literally, like, a month later, I saw it was like a trend, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I came up with it first.
You did it before it was cool. You're the ultimate hipster. You see these are all ready? They soft? Are they tender?
Yeah, I would say these are good.
Okay.
So we're going to transfer these to a plate.
It's always good to have extra plates on hand. These, when I was working in... Love you too, Gwen. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
When I was working in the banquet hall, the biggest tip I learned there, aside from like actual like cooking things, is always utilize what they call prep plates, which is having extra plates, bowls, and whatever around to hold things, so you're not like scrambling to find everything. Then
Now we're gonna cook the spinach.
yeah, spinach takes super quick though, like ridiculously fast. I don't know about you, I love cooked spinach. Spinach is delicious. Raw, cooked, it's good in everything. You say we need to season this?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we're basically same thing with the as the mushrooms. We are dehydrating, or we're waiting for all the water to sweat out of the spinach, so we get nice good colors. And like, can I just say, the quality of spinach shows in here. Like, look at the greenness on that. Like, that is some really nice. This is the best looking spinach I've seen in a long time. Like, see? That spinach cooked so fast. Lots of stuff. I love making it. I just talking. I ended up getting a phone call. My favorite thing is lasagna.
Lasagna.
Dude, lasagna is so good. Cause like a lot of people don't realize how versatile lasagna can be. Like, yeah, you have your stereotypical like your red sauce, your meat, your cheese, noodle, rinse and repeat lasagna. But okay, these are ready.
And then we just turn off the heat with this.
Yes. Well, no, these will burn real quick. This finish cooks fast. But a lot of people don't realize like veggie lasagna is a thing, and then you can use different sauces to like, and it entirely changes the whole like structure. I'm not gonna say structure because that's not the right word, but like the whole flavor profile of the dish. Like using a white sauce instead of a red sauce, or you know, maybe even using like a. I've seen someone use like a pesto one that's really good. All right. Like the chicken crosswise. All right, we have to put some salt in the spinach. And I'm gonna put it on the plate with the mushrooms. Mista's cooking up the chicken and the mushrooms, but we're just about ready to plate up actually. Alright, our spinach is set aside. I'll let that marinate for a second. Being a layered dish, then the sky's the limit. Oh, bechamel. A nutmeg bechamel actually sounds really good.
Yeah, aren't you? You're a pasta fanatic. So.
Oh yes, I am. My favorite thing to make is pasta.
One thing we do want to do on our own is actually make like our own homemade pasta.
Like the noodles. We have the stand mixer, it's just waiting to get the attachments. The attachments are expensive, but oh my god, they would be so worth it making pasta. Nutmeg bechamel, did you use that for a lasagna? Or were you using it for another dish? Alright, you ready to plate? Or bowl up? Alright, add some noodles between large soup bowls. Those stuck together a little more than I wanted, but you know, with the broth. Yeah. All right, need to remind you that this is going to be my breakfast. So people say they're eating your carbonara with cream in it, but a true carbonara only has egg and egg yolk. Yes. Carbonara is one of the pastas that I still cannot cook to this day. Like I have tried many a times, I've not gotten it right. Pour some broth over the noodles. And let's get some broth in. We got our noodles here. Look how those turned out. Pretty good, right?
Oh, don't you have your like Sunday gravy recipe that you make?
Oh yeah, oh my god. The Sunday gravy I make, like, I don't make it often because it is ungodly expensive in today's market, but I put a lot of effort. I put like 3 or 4 different types of sausage into it, meatballs, a little bit of steak. We'll get the veal bone and let it flavor the whole thing. Get some carrot in there to add some starchiness to it. It really is a wonderful dish. Alright, so now we're putting the chicken right across the top. Wonderful plating, by the way. Like, that looks so fancy. Alright. And now we can just kind of top it as we please. So, oh, we have the chili oil. We can't forget that. You get the mushrooms with the chili oil. So we're basically adding all of our elements together. So add your egg mix and parmesan and pepper to the pan, and then add the pasta to it as it gets straight off the fire. Wow. Okay, I'll try that next time. That actually really want to accomplish. Make it proper. good carbonara. Gonna add our chili oil here, which is nice and thick and really nicely colored. Like, this looks vibrant. Save up the other half for the other serving that we'll do. Well, there's a lot more, actually. Our mushrooms. Oh, last but not least, our fried onions.
Yep.
And we're going to show you how we plated this up, which I would say it looks really good. We killed it. And a little more broth. Alright, and here we have our chicken ramen in a shoyu style broth. Look at that!
Yeah, so we have the chicken, spinach, mushrooms,
spinach, mushroom,
the scallions, and then we also have the fried onion.
fried onion, and chili oil across the center. Scallions right over here. We got our mushrooms and spinach here. Chicken there. I'm so excited for this. I want to dig in right now. I think I will do. Gonna. Oh, wait, one last thing. Cannot forget our chopsticks. Now, I am not a chopstick pro, so please forgive me. Like, I do my best, but I'm not the most coordinated. Like, I trip over my own 2 feet. I'm a klutz through and through. Try and get a little bit of everything here. I know, it's probably going to be impossible to do that in one bite, but always do our best.
It's like a chopstick struggle bus.
Yes. Mushroom. Spinach with the chili oil, some fried onion there. Oh my god. That is delicious. I am so blown away by the quality of this. Like, I'm not even kidding. I knew it was good. I didn't expect it to be this good.
Yeah, what's really nice, I was surprised with the ingredients because they're actually really good. And then I forget, I'm like, well, you know what? These recipes are probably made by like actual chefs that know what they're doing.
You want to try a little bit?
Oh, no, I'm all good, thank you.
Alright, you sure?
Yes, I am full.
Alright. Yeah, no. HelloFresh, you have blown it out of the water. I am impressed. Like, this absolutely blows my mind how good this is. Like, I've never had a ramen this delicious. Let's try some of these noodles, because these actually look like really well-made noodles. I don't know if you were here when we were putting them in. Like, the other great thing about HelloFresh, their ingredients are very, very natural. Not a lot of preservatives, not a lot of, like, all those chemicals that you can't pronounce. So, the broth is... so we followed the kit recipe, you know, just to show off what the kit can do. So the broth has white scallion, ginger, garlic, pork broth concentrate, chicken broth concentrate, our water, a little bit of the chili oil, salt, pepper. Those rock. The noodles are good too. Those are really well flavored noodles. Like, this is easily a 10 out of 10 recipe. I want to eat this again. Like, I would eat this at least once a week. This is that good. Yeah, the broth, very simple broth. Very easy. Like, and this came together in what? Under an hour? So it's quick to make too. It's not super duper hard to prepare. Really good for those weeknights coming home late from work. But yeah, if you want to follow along and try this recipe at home yourself, you can. Oh yeah, soy sauce. That was the last thing in it. Knew there was one thing I was forgetting. There is soy sauce in it. There isn't fish sauce, but fish sauce would probably be really good. This has a really nice color to it. Fish sauce would absolutely
Oh yeah.
go really well in this broth.
Yeah, it had let me see, the pork ramen stock concentrate, chicken stock concentrate, and soy sauce. And then we have like a little oil, like a chili oil thing, and that has garlic, ginger, scallions, and then it also has sesame seeds and sesame oil and chili flakes in that, and we top the ramen with it, so it's kind of like not exactly in the broth, but in the actual plate with the broth that you can mix in the broth when you're actually have it in the bowl.
It is so good. If you want to follow along with us or try this at home, you can sign up with HelloFresh using our sponsor code POGHF. Let me get the chat command going. I think I can get it going, at least. No? Are we going to work today? Stream elements, please? Maybe not, but it pops up every couple minutes. You can sign up using our sponsor link or with our code POGHF62231 at HelloFresh.com and pick up the chicken ramen with shoyu style broth. Like this recipe, this is good. I would definitely add this. What was this part of, like their winter collection?
It was a seasonal collection.
Okay, the seasonal one. Yeah. So the other cool thing they do is various times a year they choose dishes to put on their menu. So much like our ramen here. It is. Make some more fried onions. They'll choose dishes that accentuate in-season ingredients. So much like the mushrooms and the spinach here. And the garlic and ginger. Because they are root veggies. Or root herbs. They're root plants. And it really highlights what those ingredients can do. And they're all in season and super fresh. So like every season there's a new selection. So like obviously it's winter time, so well at least in the northern hemisphere. So you get a lot of these nice hearty like soup meals like this. Those are really good. I'd imagine fall has some really good ones and summer just has a crazy amount. I cannot wait to see what else they put on their site to pick from. Like, we're already doing another box. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You don't want to leave the noodles to cook twice, essentially. The broth needs to be by itself in order for a good ramen.
Yeah, and this is actually like a really nice option for people that don't know how to cook or are kind of like limited with what they can cook, and I feel like this teaches them kind of what ingredients to use and things like that, because I mean like I cook a lot, so a lot of the times I could kind of eyeball flavor and things like that, but people that don't cook often kind of have to really learn from scratch, and it kind of takes a little while to actually see what they need to add. But I feel like this is actually a really good method to kind of teach people how to cook and see what ingredients they need, what kind of flavors they need, and things like that, so they could get a good idea of it. Because the way, I mean, at least how I cook is I will get at least 3 recipes, up to 5 recipes from different places on the internet of what I want to cook, and then I will kind of do like a Frankenstein of like each of those recipes, like based on like what people use, what methods they use, things like that, and I'll kind of get the parts that I like a lot. So like some recipes will be like, oh, I use this as a secret, and then another website will be like, oh yeah, I use this as a secret. So I could kind of take the best parts of each recipe and combine them together, and I make my own recipe with that, and then I eyeball stuff and add stuff as I go along. And then by the second time I make the recipe, I don't even have to look at a recipe to know what to add to it, because I'm able to kind of learn from that. So my biggest tip with cooking is always look at different recipes and how people make them, to see what the best method is. Because if you only look at one, you don't really get a good idea of how other people make the recipe.
And it could just be a really bad recipe
Or
to start.
that, yeah.
So like that's why you always want to take your recipes from multiple sources. Unless it's like something like kind of showy, like those Instagram recipes, or you know, those recipes that look really good for social media but are just like a pain to actually eat. Those are like the only exceptions for like the single recipe use. But as far as like cooking everyday meals, take from multiple sources. Like a lot of people, yes, they don't know the broth method because everybody probably grew up on top ramen. It's like, oh yeah, boil your noodles, put the broth in, you're done. No, there is so much more to ramen. So much more complexity you can get if you just like dig a little tiny, eensy beensy little bit deeper. But yes, thoroughly impressed with the flavors on this dish and how wonderful it is. Oh wow. Mac and cheese, yeah, and you know what? Come to think, like, mac and cheese is a good one to start early on. And like, dude, good on you. Like, you've overcome a lot of stuff. A lot of chefs do like pull from the multiple recipes. Like, so like when you're looking for stuff, like where do you look? It's like I try to use YouTube videos because I've learned that the recipe websites, like most of them end up being like mom blogs, and they don't necessarily end up being either faithful or good. You know? Like YouTube and Twitch are truly the only places where like you can search for stuff. Well, mostly YouTube, because like Twitch, well, yes, you know, you can search for VODs. It's a lot easier to search YouTube for the same sort of thing you're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like being only able to use one hand for cooking would be really, really hard. I mean, I can multitask while cooking and maybe use one hand for some stuff, but oh gosh, yeah. That's like Master Chef right there.
Yeah, like, how old do you look? Because, like, I'll share it on my channel, like, either in chat or whatever. But forever ago, a friend of mine gifted me access to this website, and what it does is it has every cookbook published in America up until, like, 1950. Because they're all, like, copyright free, so you can just upload them anywhere. And it's really interesting looking at the stuff they made in, like, colonial times. And, like, pulling... We made, let me have that paper again. Chicken ramen and a shoyu style broth. So we did just finish it out. But it's like the serving picture. And it was very good. Oh, you got an ad. It's all good. It's all good. No worries. Let me know when the ad's over. But yeah, CBD. We made chicken shoyu ramen. Oh, it's very delicious. Did everything pretty much from scratch.
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple and it's nice because the way that they organize everything, they literally give you like pre-portioned of all the ingredients that you need. And then they basically give you like a step-by-step, and it's really nice because before you pick the recipes, you could go on and see exactly what ingredients are included, stuff that you'll need as far as equipment, like if you need to use an oven, how many pots and pans, and things like that. And it'll actually show you like a step-by-step of the recipes, so you know, you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to use an oven, so I'm not going to do it. But
welcome back. So as I was saying, before you got interrupted with the ad, it was somebody gifted me access to this website, and I'll see if I can find it in my bookmarks, but it's basically a website that compiled every cookbook published in America up until like the 1950s, and it's all free to access. So what you can do is look at it and pull from that. Well, I sometimes just like to skim through it and see what they made in like colonial times, because oh my god, they made some wacky dishes. I remember looking at like fish head pie. I know that's not like an American dish. That was definitely more Northern European, but it was interesting to say the least. Or what was it? Stargazer pie. That's what it was. And it was like literally this pie. You know, it looked normal. Your filling was like some seafoody one. Then it had fish heads sticking out the top. I don't know why, because it was like that. I guess it's called Stargazer pie because the fish like look at the sky when it's baking. It's like, I get it. It's a cute name. I would never in a million years come up with that. It's like it's really cool to look where our recipes came from and how they evolved over time. Another one that I find interesting because my grandmother's relatives, well, I guess my distant relatives, founded the city or helped found the city of Fremont, California, which is in the modern day San Francisco metro area. But back in like early 1900s, they would have these things called gossip books where all the women would get together and, you know, gossip, and they'd put in their recipes for their during their bridge clubs or whatever. And it's really interesting to see what they were making during that time too, just to see like how these recipes all evolved and how we got to where we are now. Like that's why I think Tasting History with Max Miller, the series that Mythical Kitchen does, Meals of History, I think it's called, where they take a look at like old recipes or like famous historical recipes, stuff like the famous zoo feast in Paris when it was under siege, or the Titanic feasts. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting to see the techniques used at the time and what ingredients were used. But yeah, cooking. This is a lot of fun. I definitely want to do another one of these. Don't know how soon, but I definitely want to do another cooking stream. This is a lot of fun. Maybe make either another HelloFresh kit or one of my recipes. I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun. Can I find some of the rate? Or can you think of anyone? Yeah. Let's find someone to raid, help out. There's a guy that does old baked goods. Is it Dylan B. Hollis? So that was another one. Where he does the really loud guy. He sounds like Eggy, that sort of thing. See who is streaming cooking stuff. Yes, I love his too. And honestly, I've tried a couple of the recipes. I really do want to try the Velveeta fudge because I know it's good, but knowing that there is Velveeta super processed cheese in it just activates something in my head that's like visceral. Like, absolutely not. Alright.
You could raid somebody that's doing Cooking Simulator.
Ooh, that would be a good idea.
Oh, there is somebody doing Horizon Forbidden West cooking.
Oh, who is it?
It's ALOYIRL.
Alright, remind me again, because I'm going to set it up right now. Let me find my raid button. Remind me what it is?
It's ALOYIRL.
Alright. So we're going to raid the streamer real quick. Thank you all so much for coming into our sponsored stream. Thank you for HelloFresh for sponsoring us, giving us a sponsor code to help you guys out if you want to sign up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Big Rob, for stopping in. It was really cool chatting with you. Really cool talking to like a super duper fancy, accomplished chef. Like, dude, you're rad. Thank you for everybody who stopped in. Thank you for everybody who's supporting. Alright, let's get this set up. When you get this raid going, we're gonna pay Alloy IRL a visit. Thank you all so much. Bye. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Thank you all again.